So in this video, we're going to talk about what is this thing called Love Jazz Standard, and specifically, I think we should deal with the 2 minor 7 flat 5 to 5 7 flat 9 to 1 minor 7. So 2 5 1 of minor keys. We haven't really done that before here on the Jazz Mental channel, so it's going to be fun to do. There are some things to look out for. There are some specific voicings and patterns that you could use. Definitely rootless voicings, which are really cool. And the first thing I'm going to do is play what is this thing called Love. There's a bunch of 2 5 1s in minor keys in here. There's 2 5 1 in F minor, 2 5 1 in C. So there's a bunch of these 2 minor 7 flat 5 to 5 7 flat 9 chords that you're going to want to pay attention to. And it sounds very minorish and very dark sometimes, but you can brighten it up a bit with your playing. All right, let me play the tune now and then we'll come back. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is this first 2 5. So this is 2 5 to 1 of F minor. And I think if you're looking at voicing that in terms of left hand comping, there's a specific pattern that you should pay attention to. So let's deal with that first. So we've got 2 minor 7 flat 5 of G minor. So let's do that first. So G minor 7 flat 5. Sometimes I write it like this. It's the same thing as writing it out. So minor 7 flat 5 is the same. You can also do minor 7 flat 5, which is the same. So these are all chord suffixes that you can use. I specifically use this one sometimes because, or the first one, because it's just what I'm used to, but it means the same thing. So one of the ways to think about this is, first let me write out the voicing, the rootless voicing for the left hand. So you've got G, C, D flat, and F, okay? So again, let me just spell that from the G, C, D flat, and F is what those notes are. Now, the interesting thing about that is it's the exact same voicing for E flat 7 with a 9 and a 13, but it's also for an A7 sharp 9 and sharp 5 or flat 13, okay? So all of those three chords are the same. So whether it's a G half diminished 7th, E flat 7 with a 9 13th, or A7 sharp 9 flat 13, same chord voicing. Okay, so that's interesting. So sometimes, again, when you're thinking like these 2, 5, 1 in minor keys, you might want to just substitute the chords that you're familiar with. And they're good voicings and they work for all of those situations. Then it goes to 5, 7, which is C7 flat 9. So let me erase this section here. And let's go to a C7 flat 9. Now, the reason why it's a flat 9 is because it's part of the key of the moment. So if you're in F minor, that flat 9 is really important. So flat 9. It's also a flat 13 of the key, which is F minor. Okay? So the way to play that is to use the same type of voicing, except for C7 flat 9, you're going to go to, so you're going to go to this chord, which is essentially a C7 sharp 9 chord, but it's also a G flat 7 chord. So you've got E, A flat, B flat, and then E flat. So you could play the flat 9 there, or you could play the sharp 9. So again, as soon as you see that, you know, sharp 9 is kind of like implied, okay, because it's part of the key of the moment. So, and then we're going to go to F minor 7. So in this particular case, let's play one of those minor seconds in the left hand where you've got G, A flat, and E flat, like this. So. Okay, and then it goes, and we're going to do the exact same thing for this D minor 7 flat 5 to G7 altered to C major 7. So we've dealt with altered chords before, but in this particular case, we're just going to play the same voicings as we did here, except we're going to do it in C minor. So you got D half diminished 7th to G7 flat 9. And again, it says altered in the tune, but that's just suggestion, just like all chord suffixes. And then you're going to go to C major 7 instead of minor. So that's kind of interesting. So it kind of like tricks you into thinking you're going into minor, but it actually ends in major. So the first notes are important in terms of the chord for D minor, or D half diminished 7th. So let's plunk those down. You've got D, G, A flat, which is the flat 5, and then you've got the 7th chord, 7th note in there. So G. So that's the voicing. Interestingly enough, that's the same voicing for a B flat 7 chord. And then we're going to go to G7 flat 9, which interestingly enough is here. And again, that's also a chord voicing for D flat 7. So you got G7 flat 9. So let's go F, B flat, B natural. How do I write that? Well, let's just put it in there like that, and then E flat. So here's your voicing for D half diminished seventh. I'm not going to talk about the voicing for C major 7 in this particular case. So there's a couple of different 2-5-1. They're exactly the same in terms of voicings, but just two different keys. So G half diminished 7th, C7 sharp 9, F minor 7, and then D half diminished 7th to G7 flat 9 to C7. Okay, so there's a couple of useful voicings for 2-5-1s in minor keys. Hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or comments about this, please put them in the comments below and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks for your time.